Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness for the third time. Repetition penetrate the lesson. I was sitting here smiling because I can't think where it's at, but I know I heard it before. But there's a Bible scripture that says something to the extent of obedience is better than sacrifice. And what had me reflecting on that, and what had me sitting here smiling, is because basically I came down to making a choice. Since it got so late in the afternoon or in the evening, I came down to having to make a real gangster choice. If I was going to eat, or if I was going to record this video and drop a message to the family. Well, one thing for sure, and many of us know, that once we eat, most times, the things that we plan to finish getting done, if they ain't done prior to fulfilling ourselves with sustenance or filling our belly, it probably won't get done. So I made a gangster decision, and here I am sitting in front of y'all. It's an honor to be here. Once again, stillness in abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. I don't really talk about politics, nor do I have a vested interest in politics. And I'm not going to talk about politics now, but I am paying attention to say that I do have a vested interest in common sense. And when it comes to what these so-called leaders are doing and people in governmental office, we're going to have to really be paying attention so we don't get caught up in their trials. I ain't mean to say that, but I said it so we don't get caught up in their trials, because we're not a lab rat, and we don't get caught up in their traumas, because we got our own, and therefore we won't get carried, we won't get swept away in their drama, because we have our own role to fulfill in this stage of life. So I said that to say, wherever we are, wherever we at, and who we are, we're gonna have to be able to stay our course. We're gonna have to be able to stay our course. And a lot of times, staying the course don't mean, or won't always mean, going against the grain, going against the system. Sometimes it's gonna determine us to fall in line with the force, fall in line with the wave, how things is moving. And therefore, we won't be going against the current. My shadow. I was thinking about some things that my shadow, from the shadow of my light, or from the light of my shadow, what could I share with yours? And before I go into that, I want to share a few things that I was contemplating on, because my great-grandmother presence was heavy upon me. And I was pondering about some things that my grandmother used to say when I was younger, before she transitioned. My grandmother transitioned at 99, a week prior to her birthday. So I still count her as a centurion. But my great-grandma used to always say, rise in power, Grandma Alice. But my great-grandma used to always say, it's more bad people in the world than it is good people. And for me to hear that as a child, it confused me. And I don't know if it really confused me or it confused my perception that I had on the world. And the reason that I say that is because as a child, I always saw the good. As a child, I always saw from the eyes of love. As a child, I always saw from the eyes of purity. And most of us, as a child, did the same thing. But what happened along the process, along the progress, along the path from pubescence to adolescence to adulthood? What happened along the path? We all know many things happen along the path, so that needs not an answer. But it does need your examination. It does need your analyzation. What happened along the way? I wrestled with that. I was confused about that because through the good that was in me, through the love that was in me, I externalized it everywhere and in everyone. And eventually I realized, I started to realize, and I still wrestle with it, that there was some bad people in the world. But I still wasn't grasping the fact that there's more bad people in the world than there is good. Y'all walk with me. See, once again, it was the good in me that I thought was supposed to be in the world. So from the good in me that I saw the world. Stay with me. However, my great-grandmother also used to say, there's 3 ways that people gonna let you know who you are to them. She said, when they're angry or mad, when they're drunk, or when they're around their friends or people who make them think they're somebody. Now those things I had to really pay attention to. Why? Because I had to make sure that I'd be able to see myself in every interaction. And I still always wrestle with the fact that the good in me, the love in me, the positivity in me, even through all the turmoil and negatives that I had to go through, I still looked at that as my out picture of the world. Why do I make that of importance in what I'm saying? Because even today, as a full grown adult, still growing in this process, still being worked on, I still see from the eyes of my inner child. Had I lost that connection, I probably wouldn't be sitting here having a message for no one today. I probably wouldn't have, if I be honest, there ain't no telling where I may be at, but it wouldn't be in the space that I sit in today, in the space of peace, tranquility, serenity, serendipity, and all the other beautiful, awesome words that we could think of to describe a place of transcendence. When you're official, it don't leave room for speculation. I said all that to say this, because life gonna make you official. Or it's gonna make you a duplicate. It says some of the most down-to-earth person that I know. Y'all chill out, work with me. I ain't gonna take long. It says some of the most down-to-earth person I know. Life also taught me that I had to learn how to establish strong boundaries about my energy. That was the very, if not most, if y'all paying attention to where I started from and where this is going, that was probably one of the most challenging things to be able to do and accomplish in my life, because I'm a natural empath. If you're a natural empath, you know what I'm talking about. But I said all that to say, we still on shadow work. The shadow work ain't over. So, whether you see me as sharing from my light or sharing from my shadow, I hope it reflects something to give you something to look at. Because if we ain't getting better, 9 times out of 10, you're getting bitter. But we still on shadow work. So, as I've said before, I don't think I say it enough. Because it takes knowledge to be ready. And it takes wisdom to be prepared. And I don't know what we're going to have to be prepared for. But when it go down, get down, we're going to definitely have to be ready. And I say that because we can't always anticipate what's going to happen next, what will happen next. No matter how well you see, no matter how intuitive you are, no matter how psychic you may be, we can't always intuit what will happen next. Sometimes life throws a curveball and it just ain't nothing you could do to dodge it. Sometimes it just ain't nothing you could do at all. And sometimes it ain't nobody to blame at all. We're different people, having different challenges, through different experiences. On one journey, and it's called life. The one thing about life, it gives you what you put into it. And some may wrestle with that, some may battle with that, some may disagree with that. And as much as I embrace that, I may still wrestle with some parts of that. Because it's levels to this. I say that to say karma is real. At least for me it is. But I would like to know what you think about it. Drop me a comment. I do embrace that. What goes around, comes around. I would like to know how you feel about that. Why did I say that? Chip, work with me, baby. I say that because we can believe whatever we want about whatever we want. And we can tell people whatever we want about whatever we want. It don't matter what we believe or what we choose not to believe. One thing we all know is right and wrong. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And if anybody disagree with that, drop a comment. Let me know about it. As I said earlier, my shadow, wanna let your shadow know. Or my light would like to speak to your light and saying, never, and I mean never, ever, 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 in my Chris Rock tone, let no one dim your light. It's yours. Because we got a better chance at finishing our soul contract on a good note. It's a lot of people leaving here. It's a lot of people transitioning on not so lovely notes. If we start to pay attention how people exiting off this planet in the ways that people are just so happening to transition, about this planet. It'll start telling us a lot about the type of souls of the individuals. Good, bad, or indifference. Look at it how you wish, or look at it how you will. But it's a lot of telltale signs in the type of souls that we come here to be on the way that we exit. Many of us may have heard the way that it ended was the way that it began. In a lot of ways, I find truth in that. But I want to say again, we got a better chance of finishing our soul contract on a good note if we are healed. If we are healed. So I encourage everybody I know and all of you that I don't know to raise your frequency, exercise positivity, bring some power to the pain by going through the experience known as healing and make it pleasurable. Mental illness or mental health, emotional illness or emotional health. Those two words alone is enough. Is enough of why a lot of conversations need to be had, where they need to be had, when they need to be had. Those two words, those 4 words, in the way that I use them, is enough reason why shadow work should always be a topic. Are we paying attention to what's going on in the world, or do we not care? True enough, we got our own issues. True enough, we got our own families. True enough, we got our own concerns. But we still connected to everything else. Whether we consciously can see that or not, we still connected to everything else. The application is what we should be applying. You know, it ain't nothing like having disregard towards what somebody else may be experiencing until you find yourself in them same shoes. And hope nobody regards you the same way that you regarded somebody else. See, because I'm not one of those who would like to be sitting up in a penthouse in a mansion eating filet mignon, and I can look out my window and see somebody on the street picking out the garbage can trying to find something to eat. That's not who Sabu is. I may be speaking to a lot of those types, but that's not who Sabu is. That's not what we do over here. So, hopefully, through shadow work being a topic, we get the opportunity to get back to a more pure place, more pure place as an individual, a more pure place in interaction with others and the collective, and a more pure place with the universe. You know, many times our ability to move beyond the wounds has a lot to do with our perception. So work on your perception. Choose to look outside the box. Look at other ways of looking at things. Look at other ways of thinking about things. Anything that's occurred to make us better. Emotionally, psychologically, psychically, mentally, physically. Last but not least, we need to control our emotions, man. And keep our hands off people children. Male and female. Y'all women, keep y'all hands off other mama's sons and y'all men, keep y'all hands off other women's daughters. I'm gonna say that. Kids being left out here without their parents. I know y'all watching the YouTubes and the TikToks and whatever. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know what I'm speaking to. You know? Everybody not ready for these conversations. I understand that. Because everybody not ready to hear. And we can see that by the killings that's going on. But these conversations are necessary. So with that in mind, it's gonna take wisdom to know the difference, and that's number 5. Change. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Don't forget, karma real. At least for me it is. Thanks for the likes. Hit the like button on your way out if you haven't hit it already. Share the message if you haven't shared it already. And all that you do to be a participant in what I'm here to do and for what I'm here to do. I salute you. Soul Tribe, you know who you is. Those who think about it, we'll be waiting when you figure it out. I am Salute. Peace, family.